Okay, so I have a confession. Sometimes when I see people fall down, I laugh at them. I can't help it. I don't know why. I mean, it's really not funny. Maybe I watched too many Three Stooges as a kid. I don't know. And I say this as a guy who falls down a lot and gets laughed at. I was at a dairy farm once in Connecticut, walking around the slope of a containment pond, and my feet shot out from under me. I made a very high-pitched noise. You know, my arms started to pinwheel. When I hit, the air rushed out of me and I slid all the way down the slope into the sludge. And my crew laughed at me so hard they had to put their cameras down to free up both hands so they could properly hold their bellies as they rolled around in mirth on the ground. I asked Kat if I could have slip-resistant soles on my shoes because, frankly, I was tired of being embarrassed on national television. And they said, listen, slip-resistant soles really aren't about your self-esteem. It's a safety consideration. Whatever. I'm just saying. There's no reason for you to be slipping and falling in front of your friends and coworkers. And if you do, and my crew and I are in the vicinity, I promise we won't laugh at you. So a couple years ago, in 2005, I helped some guys replace a broken lift pump in a wastewater treatment plant. It was a great job. A lift pump is a 4-ton motor, sits at the bottom of a 5-story shaft, and when a lift pump breaks, the pumping chamber where the lift pump sits fills with raw sewage, and if the lift pump isn't replaced, that raw sewage runs out into the street, causing riot and widespread disappointment. The job is indescribable. Men have to go down into that pumping chamber and literally swim to the ruptured pump and attach a cable to the top so somebody else can hoist the whole thing out on a crane. It's unspeakable, and it's physically exhausting. And at the end of that 10-hour day, I was not only physically broken, I was mentally incoherent and covered with other people's poop. Point is, I didn't think I would ever be comfortable again. But later that night, after a couple of hot showers, I did something I've never done before. I made a bubble bath. It's true. I put on some classical music, I lit one of those aromatherapy candles, and I opened a cold beer. And as I lay there, in all of that delicious, sudsy candlelight, a cool breeze blew in from the garden across my furrowed brow and brought with it a hint of jasmine. I told my buddies at CAT that I would really like to feel that way every time I put on a pair of Mike Rowe Works shoes and boots. They said no problem. A couple years ago, I was painting a suspension bridge up in Michigan, the Mackinac Bridge. It was a very exciting job. About 600 feet up in the air, it's windy, and green paint blowing back in your face as you work. Mostly you're just trying very, very hard not to fall 600 feet to your obvious demise. I was thinking about that job the other day when Caterpillar asked me if I had any innovative ideas for some new features I might like to see on my line of work boots. And I said, yeah, actually, parachutes. Right? Seriously, why not? The time has come, in my opinion, for us to see a sophisticated parachute system installed into the soles of high-end work boots. I mean, why not? Something that would automatically be deployed when the sensor indicates that you're falling at, say, 60 miles an hour, right? I mean, it's just a safety measure. But I think it could be huge. Well, Kat wanted to hear more. That was like a year ago. And today, I'm very excited to tell you that as a result of that initial conversation, we're still talking. Nothing definitive as of yet regarding the parachutes, but I'm hopeful. So the first time a cow stepped on my foot, I was wearing tennis shoes, and I guess I had it coming, to be honest. I was behind her, had my arm in her backside, doing a little artificial inseminating. And she didn't like it, whatever. Her hoof wound up coming down on my foot. And the thing is, when a cow steps on your foot, you're wearing tennis shoes, it's kind of like you're just barefoot. My little toe exploded. It was very painful. A couple years later, the exact same thing happened again. This time it was a bull, slightly different procedure, but you get the idea. I had work boots on that day, but still, it was very painful. Knocked the toenail off of my big toe. So when Caterpillar asked me if I wanted steel toes in my new line of work boots, I was like, yes, please. In fact, why stop there? I said, why not make a pair of boots out of the same yellow iron you use on a bulldozer, right? Nice thick iron for the whole thing. And they were like, yeah, we're not going to do that. But the steel toe thing, for sure, is good thinking on that.